because at the beginning they are actually pretending to be somebody that they're not. That they are just mirroring who you want them to be, and they're acting. It's acting. So why do they do this? Well, it's for narcissistic supply, because when you kind of have this adoration for this person that's your soulmate, you know, you've been searching for this person all your life, and you know that they act all, you know, they act the way you want this perfect man in it. The way they act here is so believable. They're experts at this, guys. They're experts. Now this narcissist, this love bomber, has a very, very low self-esteem, and although not all narcissists are love bombers, and some non-narcissists are, despite a facade of confidence that they put on with this, you know, when they wear this mask, it's like this grandiose behaviour. They act very confident and they act very independent. They act like your perfect man. It's all a facade. Inside, deep inside a narcissist, they feel insecure and empty. The narcissist requires constant reassurance, and the way they get this reassurance is actually evoking from you, you know, these reactions of adoration towards the narcissist, and love, and, you know, and actually looking for what they're doing. Narcissists are looking for acceptance that they did not get, and validation when they were a child. In their early years of development, they did not develop this. They were, you know, they were void of any validation to their identity. And when someone is void of having an identity, they become this very insecure and empty shell. Okay. They did not even develop an identity or personality. So what they do, they mirror you, and they pretend to be people that, you know, they watch movies, and they will see on a movie this perfect guy who women all want, you know, they all kind of adore, fancy, and this narcissist will act this part, and it's not real. They don't live. Narcissists don't live in the real, you know, in reality. They don't have a real self, a real sense of self. They don't have an inner core. They don't have an identity, and they're very insecure. So because of this, they require this constant reassurance, and this is called narcissistic supply, this validation, this reassurance from those around them. And they're like vampires. It's never ever enough. It's never just one person. They need many people to do this around them. It's never enough to fill their emptiness or to satisfy that hunger. They actually fear that they are undesirable. Their sense of self is determined, okay, by what others think of them. So normally we develop our own sense of self and our identities at a younger age. We develop that because our parents are validating us, and people around us are validating us and guiding us, okay. These individuals have not received this, or they've been deprived of this. So we did this, the normal person did this many years ago in the first stages of development, up to around 12 years old. Now this development can be broken through child abuse too, but also emotional abuse or lack of interest in their children, or depletion or missing of this validation can all lead to this loss of identity, they don't even have a sense of self. So when they become adults, this is what they're searching for, and this is determined by what other people think of them. So they've always got their radar up, and they try to control what others think as well. They manipulate people's or partners or people's opinions, and they do this because they don't want anybody to say anything negative about them. So they try to control what other people think, and this is all part of this narcissistic control. Doing this, it helps them to feel better about themselves when they can control what other people are thinking about them. Okay. The love bombing is a means to seek attention, to boost their ego and fulfill self-enhancement needs. So that's all it is. That's all this is to boost their ego, to boost that empty void within them that nobody can ever fill. Nobody can ever fill this up. It's depleted all of the time, and they need new fresh supply from different people. So this fills up that void, their need for power, control, and even sex. So when these individuals are depressed, have suffered a loss, or are disenchanted with their last conquest, they look for a new shiny new toy, okay. So when you are being love bombed and you see this partner here becoming depressed for no reason, and this narcissist will say to you, and you say, are you okay? And this narcissist, no, I suffer from depression. You know, all narcissists suffer from depression, or bipolar people, or borderline, whatever this person is. They all suffer from depression. It's all highs and lows. It's high grandiosity to sinking low into the depths of depression. So all of a sudden you see this person who's full of confidence, and and everybody's admiring them, and you're adoring them, okay, because of they're doing everything you feel that a perfect man should do, but that's just an act, as I've said. So, and then you see this person suddenly become depressed because they feel that you cannot possibly fill up that void, that they're not even willing to look at themselves, okay. They're not even willing to look at themselves, to heal themselves. So you're not enough, and that's why they have to search for new supply all of the time, guys. They are looking for new supply because you can't fill that empty void. And they also are very shame-based, because they know what they're doing. They feel ashamed of what they're doing, that they're cheating, they're lying, they just to get their whatever it takes to get that narcissistic supply. So these narcissists will seduce, and they do this love bombing, and it's all about engaging in game playing. It's game playing, and they use the relationships to help them to fill that void. So when you date a narcissist, it's so very intense at the beginning, and it moves really quickly. You know, they move it really quickly because they know they're going to start to get depressed soon, and they will have to look around for other attention. So you get this love bombing, and it's so intense, and you know, the attention, you know, it's intoxicating, it's making you feel dizzy with excitement. And this is what they love. They love that reaction that you give them for what their love bombing does to you. And they actually see that as narcissistic supply, is the feeling it makes you feel. You reciprocate that, okay? You reciprocate it back. And there's also lots of texting, phone calls at the beginning, and you know, this love bomber is trying to get you in place here, and it's like they are needy at the beginning, because they're trying to lock you down as a victim. And it's lots of text calls, and they even try to control you at a distance. You know, if you're at a distance, they will phone you and make sure that, you know, that you are smitten by them, that you feel overwhelmed by them, okay? And this is where you know, your head is dizzy, you can't think straight. It's like, you know, it's overwhelming, it's intoxicating, and this is where this becomes addictive, okay? All this attention, love bombing, and that's exactly where they want you to be, like putty in their hands. And you know, you kind of can't even think straight because it's just so overwhelming. So for the narcissist, it's not enough. It's not enough, guys, to be liked or appreciated. They have to go that extra, you know, that extra level. You know, it feels like it only counts if the other person, you know, the other person, and this is where you have to take, where you take some positivity away from being targeted by a narcissist, because they only target people that have a status or are of high value quality person, such as wealth, intelligence, beauty, who have special talents, that are quite powerful, that have this kind of celebrity status or some kind of genius, okay? So it's not enough just to be liked by your average Joe. Narcissists idealize prospective partners to augment their own lack of self-esteem. What that means is they idolize somebody far better than themselves, so they can reflect off that partner that they are also of high esteem. Okay, the thinking is, if I can win over the admiration of this very attractive person, then I must be so worthy. That's how they think. And also, if people are looking at this narcissist and thinking, gosh, if he can get a girlfriend like that, or if she can get a boyfriend like that, she must be so of high, high value and high worth. And this is all kind of feeds that narcissistic, that narcissistic hollow shell that I mentioned earlier, and it fills up that huge void, or tries to anyway. But in time, the reality creeps into the relationship, guys. And the person, this clever kind of beautiful, talented person that you are, and intelligent, you actually, the mask starts to slip, and you actually discover that your partner is not like this at all, that they're inadequate, and they fear that they have flaws, and they cannot take responsibility of any of their faults, and the expectations for emotional insecurity is lacking. So the intimate, the partner will see that the intimacy is lacking, that there's no kind of empathy or compassion, and the thing is that when you start to notice this mask is slipping, the narcissist is aware of this. Okay, any slight or imagined chink in the ideal image of the partner feels painful to the narcissist, as narcissists' vision of their perfect partner. So when you start to find out who they truly are, and it's all a pack of lies, then their vision of you is that you are not perfect anymore. Okay, and their kind of thoughts about you start to deteriorate when you start to see their true colours, and you start to see their hidden shame increasingly causing, and this hidden shame increasingly causes the narcissist extreme discomfort, you actually seeing that. The narcissists in turn project that onto their partners, that shame, that hatred of themselves, and they start to then criticize their partner once they see, that somebody's going to notice, these people, you or whoever this is who they've love bombed, are going to see the chinks in the armory, and in this kind of facade that they're actually acting, and when you see that, then you become the one that's not perfect anymore, and this is where they start to criticize and start to devalue you, because you're not perfect anymore, because you're starting to see who I truly am. And then then they start to get bored of their partner, because you've seen me now without my mask, and this is not new anymore, it's not shiny and new, So you're not providing me with, you're not filling up that empty void anymore, and you're not boosting that low self-esteem of mine. So I need to find somebody else to do that, a new person, because you have seen all of my, and I have to pretend to be this perfect person that I'm not. So then they start to look for a new source of narcissistic supply. This is when the mask starts to come off. Okay, and they show, people can't keep up this facade, this acting for very long. Narcissists can't do this forever, and that's why they try to lock you down quite quickly, so you fall in love with them before you actually see who they truly are, and that it's all kind of fake. And well, this normal people don't do this, guys. This is somebody who has a mental health issue, and the narcissist, or any kind of cluster B personality disorder, the kind of attachment style that they have in relationships, in any relationships, it's all playing a game. It's all playing a game. So this is a cycle. This behaviour is a cycle. They start with the love bombing, and then, as the mask starts to slip and you start to ask questions, then the next stage of the cycle is the devaluation part of this cycle. Now, the reasons behind why they do this love bombing is because they want to secure this relationship, lock it down. It's like grooming. It's like grooming you. They know what they're doing. They know that they are acting, and they're living in this fake kind of persona. Now, why do they do this? It's very confusing for people who've not got this disorder. They do this because they have a personality disorder. They do not have a personality. They do not have an identity, and that's what this means, okay? And narcissists are very, very insecure because of this. And they have like an insecure kind of attachment style to any relationship. So it's all about game playing, okay, and manipulation. And they're very anxious people, prone to depression. They feel, they don't feel that they're anybody. They don't feel that they're worth anything. And it just seems sad. It seems very sad. But when you are involved with a narcissist or any of these cluster B personality disorders, you would feel sorry for them at first and try to want to fix them, but then you realise that this is abuse, guys. This is abuse, because deep down these people, why they chose you, because you was an amazing person. Deep down they are so envious of you and so jealous of you. Narcissists are very envy based people. And they're very, very kind of, they're shame-based too. So they're always going to doubt their reality, and they lose touch with reality too with this disorder. And they can't rely on people, and they kind of, there is this kind of trust where they can't trust people to satisfy their emotional needs. And their self-esteem, they're self-esteem fillers. They want to fill that empty void with the self-esteem. So your identity reflects on them and fills up that. It's all twisted, and all they're interested in is stealing your personality to reflect back onto them. And although they're so low self-esteem that they're looking on other people's behaviours and responses to fill up that void. They're constantly searching for that, and that is their attachment style, guys, is looking for behaviours and responses of others to make them feel a whole person. So this is an insecure attachment style. And this is why, this is the whole pure reason why they engaging and why they actually do this love bombing at the beginning, and put on this false fake persona so that you believe that this person is the perfect man for you, because their attachment style is so insecure that they have to pretend who they are, because if they showed you who they truly are, you wouldn't be interested. So that's why they act in this certain way. That's why they become this perfect person that you've dreamed of, that you've prayed of, and you've prayed to God that you would meet this amazing person. So this is why they do the love bombing, guys. They are empty shells, okay? They're so used to acting a part. It's like acting a character, an actor acting a character, and inside of that facade, that acting role, that character, there is nothing. It's a hollow shell, and they're just like robots inside. They're just acting this role just to gain the attention and adoration from you. So the next episode that I'm going to do is after the mask has dropped and they expose who they are underneath, and your reaction to that and reopening this narcissistic wound up here. What happens in the next stage of the devaluation stage, and why they actually start to devalue you when you actually see their true colours of who they are. And we will explore that next, guys, so don't miss the next episode to this, and bye for now.